Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before. This is GABNET, the Great American Broadcast Network. GABNET needs you. Yes, GABNET needs you to call our live programs and be a part of the citizen panels. It's the most innovative talk format yet because it's not just one caller, it's a group of callers interacting with the hosts at the same time. Here's how you do it. It's simple. First, download Skype at skype.com. To install it, answer 4 simple questions. First name, last name, email address, and your choice of ID. Then launch Skype, go to Add Contacts, type in GABNET Live, and ask to be made a contact. Then you're ready to be on the citizen panel. If you're too lazy, well, you can always call on the phone at 347-352-0079. That's 347-352-0079. For all the information and a call button for Skype, log on to gabnet.net. At the bottom of the page, you'll find a video on how to call us and how to use GABNET. It couldn't be easier. It couldn't be more fun and exciting. We're new. We're different. But we need you to call. So for crying out loud, call or we'll kill this dog. Don't worry, Fluffy. They won't let you die. I'm not kidding. Call or Fluffy gets it. Oopsie. This is an Internet Network news break. IP Pingsley reporting. Our top story, the Great American Broadcast Network, otherwise known as GABNET, is now a TuneIn partner. TuneIn, the world's largest audio network, has joined forces with GABNET, the world's most innovative talk network. GABNET's partnership with TuneIn means that listeners now have 3 main ways to listen to GABNET programming: Gabnet.net, TuneIn.com, and the convenient TuneIn app for smartphones. To participate in the network's innovative citizen panels on GABNET programs, use Skype and type the handle GABNET Live, or call on your phone 347-352-0079. For more information on this network, its programs, and its hosts, log on to gabnet.net. That's gabnet.net. This has been an Internet Network news break.
Hey everybody, this is Alex Bennett, host of the Ramble, heard here and seen here on GABNET, Tuesday through Fridays, live at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, and I got some big news for you. Our program has moved its live video from Facebook Live to YouTube Live. After extensive tests in our GABNET laboratories of at least 10 minutes, our mind was made up and we've come to the conclusion that YouTube is superior not only in video quality, but audio as well. And then there's the ease of watching it. Here's what you do. Simply point your browser to youtube.com/Bolo Bennett /live. That's youtube.com/Bolo Bennett, BOLOBENNETT /live. And you're there. The player is waiting, and you do nothing, and when the show begins, so does the player. Couldn't be simpler. In fact, tag that page as a permanent tab on your browser, and you're ready to go. And if all of this is too vexing for you, well, just go to gabnet.net near showtime, and the player in the middle of the page will start to play when we're on. We're thrilled with the new quality our move has provided, and while you're there, would you do me a favor and please subscribe to our channel? No, I beg you to. Hey, listen to me, I'm groveling, okay? I know, it's pathetic. I'm sorry, I'm debasing myself, and I really shouldn't be. Please.
There are many types of connections.
1 ringy-dingy. 2 ringy-dingy. Oh, a gracious good afternoon.
No, not that type. I mean personal connections. Very personal connections. You know, sexy connections. Connections between 2 consenting adults. Well, that's what GABNET has in store for your weeknights. You're saying, wait, we already have a sexy show on GABNET, don't we? Well, you're correct. However, that sexy show has a brand new name. Living Sexy is now called Connections.
This is Ernestine Tomlin from Telephone Repair Service. Or as we say in the trade, Ma Bell's Fix-It Shop.
No, wrong number, Ernestine. I'm talking about sexy connections. Join hosts Blackjack, Electric, and Chastity, Mondays at 10 p.m. Eastern and Tuesday through Friday at 1 a.m. only on Gabnet.
One ringy dingy. Is this Mr. Hoover? Mr. Jedgar Hoover? Good. Then I have reached the party to whom I am speaking.
Jack Bishop of Gabnet's The Intersect, Tuesdays through Fridays at midnight Eastern Time. It's everything from what's going on with the new royal couple to what's happening with that grumpy old man in the Oval Office. Movies, music, old TV shows, you name it. From thoughtful discussions to out-and-out fights like my grandma would referee between my uncles. So from mild to wild, join me, Jack Bishop, Tuesdays to Fridays at midnight for The Intersection on Gabnet Live. It's talk like you never heard it.
Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before, this is Gabnet, the Great American Broadcast Network.
Hey! Well, hello everybody. I'm Alex Bennett and this is the Ramble. It goes from now until midnight Eastern Daylight Time, and I have no guests now for the next half hour like I normally do. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to talk. You know, it used to be in this business that I could start talking, and if I had to talk for 3 straight hours, I could talk for 3 straight hours. I can't do that anymore. For some reason, my mind is not as spry as it once was, and I blame that, of course, on Sirius XM, who fired me and then put me in this form of stasis that you go into when you've been retired. You know, if I were doing a show every day for them still, I would probably have a lot more of my mental faculties going. But every night I sit down, I come into this room. Here's the difference. I come into this room, as you see around you, and I guess I could show you another shot of the room, which is, of course, camera B. All right, so there you are. See, there's camera B, and I come into this room, and it is there it is again. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I come into this room, and it's just right down the hall from where the bedroom is, and I sit down. I do a show, and I don't feel that I'm going to work. Okay, even though I call this the office or the studio or whatever else you want to call it, it just doesn't. It just doesn't. It isn't the same as having to, you know, get in a taxi and drive downtown at 5:30 in the morning or 6:30 in the morning or whatever, and go to a building in Rockefeller Center and then go upstairs and then into a studio where I've got a producer and I've got a phone screener, and you know, we have the whole thing kind of planned out. You know, this is just like I come in here and I do it and that's it. And so therefore my ability at the long form changes a great deal, and I just the day that they told me we're letting you go, I said to them, I looked them straight in the face and said, well, I guess that's the end of my career. You know, now I go off to die, basically. And really, I think about my days, and there's nothing much. You know, I get up about 10 o'clock, 10:30, like I did this morning, which gave me less sleep than I wanted to have because I didn't get to bed till about 4. Then I went to, you know, I kind of went to, I got up, Let's see here. Oh, well, today I had physical therapy, which I don't know whether it's working or not, to tell you the truth. And then he tells me, well, we can also send you over to our chiropractor who can adjust your back. And I'm going, to begin with, my doctor said don't see a chiropractor. They could maybe do more harm than good. Okay? But anyway, so I did have something to do today. Okay? And some days I have like an interview to do with a guest, like my ex-wife Ronnie, or Stephen Pearl, or Larry Bubbles Brown, or whoever else comes along, so we do that. Will Durst, but that's it. And then I come in here and I do 2 hours, and I don't know how much I'm up for it anymore. I just don't have the chops, and that's something that I guess they didn't consider, is that really what we're doing is we're sending Alex off to his death. I'm serious about that. I think I would live a lot longer if I was going in and doing a show every day. But now I just get up in the morning and have nothing to do for the rest of the day. So I work out. Oh, good. And I'm thinking about stopping that because my back is killing me from it. It's just my life is it's boring. All right. So we got to find something to do with it. I wish somebody would give me a job somewhere to go in, just get in on a subway or whatever. And, well, even if I had to do it from here, I know that I was going out over a radio station or something, and there would be more planning. There'd be a producer on the other end of the thing, So, anyway, it's, And today it's not that I want the money. I mean, money would be nice, but there is no money in radio anymore, right? And my life is just kind of like I'm retired. That's what I am, and I like to think this thing we do here eliminates that feeling that we are. That I'm retired, that I'm not retired. I'm actually active. I'm doing something here, I am self-employed. That's it. Self-employed would imply, however, that there was an income coming in, and there isn't. Okay. Anyway, enough about me griping about me and about my aches and my pains and, my physical therapy, which, I don't know, it's kind of, I have to go all the way downtown for it. I have to come all the way uptown. It takes me longer to go back and forth than it takes me to do the physical therapy. And I told him after next week, not twice a week, once a week. I can't keep going up and down this much. Plus, unless I start really seeing some results, I'm not going to continue with it. Oh, I had an exciting thing today. I went and ordered up my x-rays that were taken of my back so that I can have a copy of it to show to people. I'll put them online so you can see my back, see my spine, see I have one. Anyway, that is an exciting day, just a really exciting day. I admire my friend Shecky because he keeps himself very active. He goes to the theater and he has lunch with friends and things like that. I can't even get myself to call my friends. Yesterday, I suddenly realized I have unlimited texting now with AT&T. I didn't have it before. I had for $5 a month, I took 200 texts because I didn't do them that much. And then I suddenly realized that I'm still not doing any more texting, and I can do a lot of texting if I want to. I could be like a teenager. I could be okay. So I texted Slayton, who texted me right back. So I'll have to call him and put him on the show. Now, let me tell you something. I've told you about this problem. Let me show you what I'm talking about. See this? that's the Skype screen as it is currently configured. And what it basically says, I actually have to blow this up so I can read it. It says, this version of Skype will be discontinued soon. Now that soon is September 1st, from what I understand. To continue using Skype in the future, update the latest version today. And they have a little thing here so you can update it. It says update Skype. Oh, I'm so happy that we can do that. Well, the new Skype sucks. I mean, it is terrible. Compared to this, it's a clusterfuck. All right? Let me come back to me. It's a clusterfuck. And the picture doesn't, it doesn't look as good, and it's got like 4 squares and then some bubbles at the top with people, and then if there are too many people, one of the bubbles has the number of people that are in the bubble, and you got to then bring things down in order to, for me to do the same show that I was doing before, I'm going to have to do more work. I'm going to have to move stuff around and move people around. Usually there are only 4 people or so who are really participating, so that doesn't get particularly difficult, but I would like it the way it is, where I have all the people spread out. So that's been my biggest problem. And so this thing, all of a sudden, why they can't say, hey, look, after this date, and this is what a lot of companies do, they say we're not going to do any updates to the program. And eventually the program will probably die of the fact that computers upgrade themselves, but we're not upgrading the program. But you can still use it if you want to. That's all you have to do over there at Microsoft and Skype. Just let me keep using this version, because this is the one that works best for me on this program. So I then went out and I found that I use a thing here. It's called OBS, which is, if anybody wants to do a video program, it's a very good program to get, and it's free. Kind of a, everybody puts their 2 cents worth into it, and they make it a bigger and better program, and it's a pretty good switcher, especially for free. It's damn good. But when I bring up the new Skype, which I can also bring up on this machine, because I have it so I can bring up one or the other, it won't do what you just saw here, which is show me the screen. It's blank, and there's no way. Now, on my Mac, it works, okay, the new version. But the new version on here doesn't. So I went out and I got a new program to switch the program besides OBS, and it's a program that's called XSplit. And it's really quite a good program. If you watched the show last night, it looked gorgeous. I mean, the video is, but there was a problem there. The video on the Skype, everybody was kind of jittery, it was kind of like they were like every 5th frame kind of thing, right? And I don't know whether that's me, because my machine was being taxed to the maximum. I mean, the CPU usage was just going nuts. That's the central processing unit in the computer. But more than that, the GPU, which is the graphic processing unit, was almost being used 100%. And I don't know if the problem was being created by that, or whether it was being created just by the fact that they don't render Skype very well. So I had to figure that still have to figure that one out, which means I got to get a new machine somewhere that's more powerful if I want to use it. And that one, they said they're working on making it so you can get the new Skype working with it. So I don't know. If it isn't one thing, it's another. So I'm back to using OBS tonight, and of course, all the video on the Citizens Panel is going to look fine. And I love this system, and yes, I can go over to the Mac, and I can do it on the Mac, but I don't want to begin with, because I like the way I've got the PC set up just to do the show, but I just don't want to have to go ahead and do all this shit, and then it looks terrible. I mean, I went on Jack's show the other night, and he was using the new version, and I looked at what it looked like, and I was horrified. You know, it's kind of like, hey, Skype, you're killing my show. You're killing my idea. And you would have thought in the 3 or 4 years that I've been doing this that somebody would come up with their own version of Skype. No. Other people have stuff, but it just isn't as good. And I really wish it were. I mean, I wish there were some alternative to Skype that'd be just as easy for my listeners to use. Do you know how many people have Skype? Did I read correctly or hear correctly? 300 million? Most people have Skype on their computer. They don't even know it. In fact, there's a version of Skype that comes with Windows 10. It's called Skype something or another. And so people have it on their Windows machine whether they know it or not. So it's very accessible to people. And it's free. And it's easy to use. If you don't think so, go over to gabnet.net. Right-hand side of the page tells you how to use Skype and how to call us using Skype. It's easy peasy. Meanwhile, all these other programs, one of them was like trying to put some malware on my computer, and another one wanted money, and another one you got to let all your friends know who you're going to have, you know, so we wouldn't have that ability of just anybody to call this show while I'm doing it. I'd have to put everybody in, like on Google Groups, which is the closest thing to Skype that we could use. I have to literally put everybody on a list so they can call in. I've got to check out Google Groups more. If I could use Google Groups, I would be very happy because, you know. But now we also have another problem here. Last night I tried to get on both at the same time, but I did not have the computer power to do it with. But we don't broadcast this thing on Facebook. We used to, but we stopped, and there was a reason why we stopped, because the signal went bad too often, you know. And all the time that I've been using, and so we went over to YouTube, and in all the time I've been using YouTube, I think only once did this signal crap out. Otherwise, it has worked perfectly, and it looks great, and so on. I really don't want to have to go back to Facebook, all right? As though Facebook doesn't have enough problems. Did you hear today? They lost another, I don't know, what is it, $13 billion in worth on the stock market? Their stock just went face down in the dirt, and it did it yesterday too. You know, we're kind of maybe losing Facebook, and Facebook is better than YouTube, believe it or not, for getting viewers, because every time I went on the air, it would tell all my people, all my 5,000 followers, or actually I have like 2,000 followers, actual followers. It would send them all a note saying that I was going on, and that was pretty good, you know. The only problem, and I got a lot of more people that way than I get on YouTube. But YouTube is so much better, and I'm not dealing with fucking Facebook, you know. I don't want to make any more money. The other day, they actually got $3 out of me. I didn't want to give them because somehow I clicked the button on something, and it decided it would do a promotion for me for $3. And I didn't want to do a promotion for $3, but it did it. And then I found out when I got a notice from what do you call it, PayPal, that I was being charged. So I went on there and I took them off the list of people who could charge me anytime I decided I wanted to do something. So I got ripped off for $3 the other day by Facebook. Now, it's no big deal. Even on a fixed income, the $3 doesn't bother me. But anyway, these are all the problems that you have in doing a program like this. And on top of that, I feel age is finally getting to me, you know, that I don't have the chops that I once had. I would only wish that if somebody were listening out there and wanted a great broadcaster, they would hire me. I would work cheap just so I could keep my chops going. But coming in from the bedroom, you know, and just sitting down here and doing the show every night does not give me that zen that I need or whatever. So anyway, enough of me griping about the stuff and me and all that. I've just been overly, and we started talking about this last night, and I've been overly depressed about the state of our nation. Not Trump being president, or some of the problems that we have in our country, but the fact that because of this president, we have lost civility. We no longer are as civil a nation as we once were. We're not good to each other. We're not nice to each other. You know, if I had Trump sitting here in the other chair, and and we were just going to have a regular person-to-person discussion, I would say to him, how do you feel about the fact that you pull children away from their mothers and put them somewhere else far away where their mothers couldn't find them, and that even right now at this moment they're not able to be reunited? How do you feel about the fact that that child is going to be scarred for life because of an action you did? I just don't know what his answer would be. There is no answer for that. And that's what I'm talking about, civility. I mean, where is the decency, the common human decency in this world today? We're starting to lose it. And I'm trying to think, are other countries getting as uncivil as we are? I don't think so, because the heads of those countries aren't as uncivil. I mean, yeah, problems in Russia with those leaders and so on, but I'm talking about like France and England and Scandinavian countries. They're all pretty decent to each other, you know? And part of it is, I think, they don't remember it as much now, but they all went through world wars together. And so they have a different attitude about things. You know, here we are belly aching and crying about, all these people, Al-Qaeda is going to, and ISIS are going to attack us, and we have to protect our country, and blah, 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 blah. And yet, our country, the worst thing ever happened was 9/11. The worst thing ever happened to France and England and Italy and Spain and so on were just massive fucking wars. What? We lost 3,000 people in the World Trade Center. We lost 500,000 in the war, and the Soviets, the Russians, okay, lost, are you ready for this, 25 million people during World War II. So you have a slightly different attitude about things when you've gone through something like that, and that's in your history and that's in your DNA. We've been pretty lucky, you know. Our shores have hardly been hit by anything. And it's not because we're so good and we're so wonderful, but it's also because we are geographically removed. You've got to realize we have a country that's really wide. It's about 3,000 miles wide. And both sides of it are protected by ocean. And so we have more of a barrier than, say, if we were Europe, where, hey, the war's happening next door. It's happening up the street. You know, it could slop over into our lives here. But I just wish we'd treat each other better, and I wish that we'd have a better idea. You know, the idea that kids are being ripped away from their parents is just disgusting. Just fucking disgusting. Well, anyway, guess we asked the musical question. I wonder what Phil has to say about that. Let me get rid of my music chart here. There we go. Get rid of the music, bring up the Skype, and then turn it on and wait for people to call. See, I was able to sit here and blab for how many minutes? Enough minutes. Blabbing a bit. Okay. Not now. I don't want to upgrade it. Also, the other thing that Skype does, they constantly are badgering you to upgrade. And you keep going, no, I don't want to upgrade. And then if you accidentally sneeze while you're holding the mouse, next thing you know, you've got the new ugly version of Skype on your machine. And then you have to go through a whole process of getting rid of it, which if anybody wants to know how to do it, just go to your browser and put in old Skype, okay? And it'll take you any number of sites where you can download the old Skype, okay? If that should accidentally happen to you. Or you may want the new Skype. You may want to use it. Oh, it's so pretty, and it has colors, and it's wonderful. I bet Scott Boddicker can hardly wait until he gets the new Skype, right, Scott?
I've got this Skype on Mac.
Yeah, but you got the old one, don't you?
No, I got the new one. We talked about it a couple of days ago.
Yeah. It sucks.
It bubbles. I don't care.
I mean, it doesn't suck for you because you don't have to do a show with it.
Exactly.
But I do.
I don't even have to call in if I don't want to.
What? Yeah, you don't even. Yes, you don't even have to call in if you don't want to.
But I don't have a life either, so I can relate to that.
Yeah. What do you do when you don't have a life? I mean, at least Phil goes and he's got rugs to install and shit like that.
Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, and Ray Renati again is out.
Howdy do.
He's out walking. Here he is.
Oh, that's where I am.
He's walking.
He's got
walking and talking.
Yeah.
I've been working all day,
Been
doing some video stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
I
do like video projects, and both for someone and for people and stuff like that.
When you say a video project, what is?
Well, like right now, a person who did a show, their cabaret show, they want all their songs edited and spliced up, and they want a reel put together.
Yeah,
so I'm doing that.
Okay, what do you use to edit with?
I'm using Adobe Premiere.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. I mean, I should get Final Cut Pro on my Mac, but I have the whole Adobe suite.
Wow!
So
all of a sudden tonight, it's like I don't even have to beg for callers. They're calling like crazy. There's Jeff, and there's Ray, and there's Scott, and there's Phil, and there's Brian Ludwig driving down the road. See, you can.
And on the phone, there's whom?
Well,
I don't count.
We can't see you, so it doesn't really matter.
He can't see us. He's blind.
That's right. Wow.
Hey, Alex, we lost 700,000 people in the Civil War. I just wanted to just remind you about that.
750,000 people in the Civil War?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we were fighting each other.
I know.
And none of them are using the new Skype.
Well.
Yeah.
I guess not. No.
Yeah.
They're all dead.
Hey, Ludwig, how you doing?
Not too bad.
Yeah. Are you working tonight, or are you going home now?
Yeah. I'm on my way home.
Yeah.
I am working.
Yeah, it's too bad you can't have a light in there, and then we could see your face. But.
Well, yeah, but then, like I said before, when I did this, having an inside light may attract big fuckers.
You mean it attracts you attract the pigs, right?
Oh,
correct.
Yeah, I'm saying that because I want to drive Phil crazy.
Hey,
I want to mention.
I'm saying that because most cops I don't like.
Yeah.
They don't like you either.
Oh, good. It's only just mutual, especially if they're enforcing victimless crimes, they can go fuck themselves with their own batons.
What I hate is when you get a 20-year-old kid who stops you, and then he says, "Roll down your window." He goes, "You know what you did back there?" And then he starts giving you a fucking lecture, and you want to go, "Listen, you're 20 years old. Don't give me a fucking lecture. Just give me the ticket and let me go. You don't have to give me this is not a learning experience for me.
Before your balls fully drop, just write the fucking ticket.
Exactly.
Can you be a cop at 20? Do you have to be 21 or not? You can be 18 or 19?
You got to be 21.
You got to be 21.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. They want people to be mature.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Those 21-year-olds are really mature, boy, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Well, they want their entire police force to be just dumb enough to follow every fucking thing they're fucking told.
They're old enough to fight in Iraq. They're old enough to be cops.
By the way, for all you people out there who are just joining our program, Brian, every other word is fuck, so get used to it.
It's not fuck, it's usually cunt or cocksucker or some variant thereof.
With him,
you have Tourette's?
With him, fuck is not.
I just have a very raw nerve.
Well, for him, fuck is not a verb; it's a noun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a wish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think most of you wish that, don't you?
Yeah. Well, anyway, so yeah. So, what? Anything? Anybody have anything they want to talk about here?
I want to talk about having bad vision and something that messes me up so badly. It's, the world, the streets, the grid, the way things are lined up. It's designed all for people in cars.
I'm sorry,
all for
I
people
asked.
who drive.
What? Yes. Yeah.
And I'll tell you what messes me up. I'm better at night, except where it's really dark. I need a light. But if with the street lights and the signs, I can see things. It's a lot better than the daytime. But when I get on a dark road, here's what I can't stand: diagonal roads, crisscross roads. I get so fucked up, I start walking around in circles.
Phil looks like he's bored. Phil?
Can help him out here.
Yeah?
Here you go. Car crash.
Oh, okay. Good. Well, anyway.
Phil, I was going to ask you, I think I remember, because you have the really good audio, so you sound, it always sounds really good. Do you have the Electivus with the RH20?
Oh, God. Now you are getting us into the most
open the
boring...
window and I yell loud enough that it goes over.
Do you have any other boring questions you want to ask, Steve?
No. I won't stick on that. I just was curious because I know those mics and I know the studio mics. I was just curious which one you use.
No, he's
I'll shut up.
He's actually, yeah.
I use a Rode Broadcaster.
Oh wow! Okay, cool.
Yeah.
No, it sounds very good.
In fact, right now Ray is a road broadcaster. You see, he's
on the road.
He's
on the road broadcasting.
On the road. Hey,
yeah.
I can't wait to get on the road. I'm going to be on the radio, by the way. So, big deal, right?
Ray, are you near Facebook? Or?
Yeah, I'm not too far from. Oh no, Facebook's way on the other side of East Palo Alto. I'm pretty far.
Yeah, well,
yeah. I could walk over there through the Baylands and be there in about 25 minutes.
Today, you could probably go over and buy the building for $25.
Oh yeah, what happened?
He lost a lot of money. I guess 18% yesterday in value.
Yeah, and then today more than yesterday.
I remember you warning us about this, Alex.
Well,
I remember you saying something to that effect.
I'll tell you.
Facebook was going to lose a lot of money.
I'll tell you, anything that does very well in this day and age, the day I used to say, and it hasn't come to pass, but it has come to pass in certain ways. Is I said the day will come when you'll go, gee, I wonder whatever happened to Microsoft. And I think the day's going to come when you say, whatever happened to Apple.
I think this Facebook drop might be a good buying opportunity if you got brass balls.
Well, don't say that, because maybe it isn't a good opportunity. Maybe it will keep going down.
If you got brass balls, if you can weather the loss.
but what you're saying is that it's going to go up.
It may. Look what happened to Sirius when it went down to a nickel.
Yes, but look how long it took it to get up to 2 nickels.
Well, it went a lot further than 2 nickels. If you would have bought it at 5 cents, you would have been doing pretty good.
Well, I wish I had bought it at 5 cents. I was thinking of putting 10 grand into it at 5 cents and taking a chance, but I didn't. But if I did today, I'd be worth about $1.5 million, I think, is how I figured it.
You just sold it at $1, so you'd say, "Oh, I made 20 times."
Yeah. So I mean, I have some vested, fully vested stock in 401k there, and as of right now, it's worth about $25,000. So I actually I don't have a job, but I made a lot of money today, the last 2 days, because the stock went up appreciably.
Yeah. Well, this Facebook stock, I always wondered why Facebook was so expensive, and because they don't make any money to speak of.
Yes, they do.
Well, not based on the value of their company.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Make a shitload of money off the advertising. Yes.
Oh yeah, the ads, sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Did I read it right though that they lost $100 billion today?
It wasn't $100 billion today. I wonder. Let me see.
It was 116 yesterday, and of that 116, Zuckerberg million, yeah, and Zuckerberg
million with an M.
No, I don't think so, because Zuckerberg lost 16 billion in assets yesterday.
Okay, the stock the stock is down 19%.
Yeah.
Now that's almost 1/5 of its value that it had 2 days ago.
Right. I thought Zuckerberg lost 16 billion yesterday, and the stock went down 116.
Well, he's lost more than 15 billion. It says here.
Huh.
$15 billion hit on Thursday.
Yeah, right. I didn't hear what happened today.
Let's see here. No, that's today.
Oh,
yeah.
What happened
today.
yesterday? It was
Thursday.
116.
Yeah, so they've lost appreciably. Now,
and they said that it was, they didn't meet their earnings, but this is a much bigger reaction to somebody just falling short of their earnings.
I think it's a big drop because everybody has been waiting for them to fail.
Yeah.
But I don't know who their competitor is. They really don't have a competitor. I mean, Twitter is not a competitor because Twitter doesn't do the same thing they do.
Twitter stock went up 44% this year.
Yeah, but
hey, Alex, I just thought of something.
Yeah.
The expression, the counter-pithy reaction to the expression "too big to fail," that has been popularized, admittedly, under the Obama administration when they bailed out all of those banks.
Yeah.
But Facebook could be considered too big to fail by some circles. I'm thinking if it's too big to fail, then people like me who are expected to foot the bill, well, we'd be too poor to bail, as in bail them out.
Yeah.
As in let them fucking fail so that I can keep my fucking fucking earnings and not have to worry about paying out my fucking taxes to the nose.
Well, I'll tell you something. Everybody was so pissed about the fact that they were using my data.
Too big to fail, too poor to bail.
Well, everybody was griping about, they're using my data. That's terrible.
You going shopping, Ray?
What do you think? What do you think?
I'm trying to see if Zuckerberg.
A lot of companies take your information. I see where you're getting at. You're right. If that's in fact where you were getting at with this, Alex.
What?
That, a lot of companies, be it Facebook, online, Facebook, Amazon, eBay, or offline.
I mean, I don't.
Kmart or Sears. They've been taking your data for years. Every time they ask for your zip code whenever you make a purchase.
But I mean, you don't think that you're getting this for nothing, okay? You're getting it for nothing.
Watch the ads.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me finish. I don't even have ads on my page. I go to my Facebook page, and there are no ads on it.
Well, you got
I
ads
could
on
show.
your
I could
MySpace
show you over here. There's a blank area on the right and on the left. There were no
You
ads.
use an ad blocker program on your.
No,
browser.
I don't have that. I think if I go to my news feed, I think they call it. If I were to go to the news feed,
Then you'll see ads.
then I'll see ads. But there aren't any ads on my particular page.
Yeah.
But the fact is that you have to realize that if you're using something for free, there's a price you've got to pay. You watch TV for free, but they have commercials, and so you
Right.
got to sit there and hopefully watch the commercials, right?
Yep, and you've got YouTube for free, but there are commercials there too.
Yeah, yeah. So you gotta realize that you're not getting any of this stuff for free. You never got television and radio for free, and you're not getting this for free, and you're not getting cable for free. You're
Well,
paying.
we get GabNet for free.
Well, no, but they don't know, but we're leeching their data. I am, and I'm using their data and selling it to the Russians. So,
Is that why your page translates to Russian?
yes, that's correct. That's correct. Oh boy.
Who was the one with all the what's his name? Was it Bree on the Russian telephone?
Yeah.
What?
Who was on the Russian telephone?
Oh, well, that's Bree. Yeah.
Yeah.
You,
Oh my God.
you find that funny?
A little bit. I don't know why, but I just do.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. A Russian. What's the make?
Let me
Do you
see.
know
Here. What pills do I have here? I have a headache right now. See? This job is even giving me a headache. What's good for a headache, Jeff? You should know.
Aspirin?
Well, I use these ibuprofen 800s.
I don't know.
800s.
What's good for a headache? I would say about 1,200 milligrams of acetaminophen and a big ass glass or cup of French roast coffee.
Really?
Scott showed us what he uses for a headache. Yeah, hold it up, Scott.
There's what he.
Anheuser-Busch.
A 16-ouncer.
And he can recycle.
Anheuser-Busch. Yeah, and fine. How's yours? Ha ha ha.
I heard a good wanking will get rid of your headache.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm not about ready to do that while I'm doing the program. Although I could do it under the.
I think it does. I'm not sure. I think it does. I'll tell you one thing. If you have a head cold, it'll clear the snot out of your head.
Yeah. Let me see. Oh, look, there's somebody. There's somebody running. And I know you're a runner too, Ray. But, if you went out running, what are you doing? It's going to put 2 years on your life, 3 years on your life, but all those years would have been spent running.
No, I don't run anymore because my knees are thrashed from running for too many years.
Really?
I can't run. I ride my bike and I swim and I walk, but I can't run anymore.
I have sports injuries, and I don't even engage in sports. So there you go.
How many miles?
I don't run.
Ray, how many miles are you going today?
Probably, I don't know, between 3 and 5.
And the dog doesn't get upset and make you carry her?
No, I've gone like 7 or 8 with her, and she's been fine. And she gets home and wants to play ball. And she's 10 and a half years old.
Wow.
The vet doesn't understand how this is happening.
Well,
the vet said, well, whatever you're doing, keep doing it.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
Yep.
Yeah, 10 and a half.
Wow.
Yeah.
I take it easy. I don't run that much since I had the leg thing, but I do. I walk fast. I'll jog. I won't run hard. Not yet. There's still a little more. I'll be satisfied. I'll be able to run again, but
how do you keep from bumping into things?
Oh, again, my eyesight is kind of like Randy's, where your producer. We're very, but Randy could have done a lot more than she did. Randy could have Randy could never understand how I could ride a bicycle. And I said, well, because I've been doing it since I was 8 or 9 years old. You just learn. You get the balance, and you just learn how to steer clear of things. And if you're not sure of something, don't go fast, and always have your hand or foot on the brake.
Now, do you ever, Steve, do you ever push, having the cane with the white tip and the sunglasses and try to park in disabled parking spots?
No, I never had a stick. I've used them, but I think I may get one because that lets other people. And, for me to carry, what I use, like when I'm out, especially when it's raining, because I have an umbrella. That's my,
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm if I'm by signposts or anything like that, I just take, if I'm on like those roads where the signs, they stick out the signposts.
Yeah.
I could see it peripherally a little. I have to move my eyes.
I never thought I'd say this, but thank God SG is calling.
Anyway, that's what I do. Just to I just hold the umbrella out, and if I see something there, I just tap.
I'm never going to talk about anything that's wrong with me again because I'm beginning to see the error of my ways by listening to you, Steve.
Okay.
Hey, SG, are you there, SG?
Yes, sir.
Turn on your camera so we can see your nose. There we go. There he goes. And there he is. There he is wearing his dark glasses. You're indoors, aren't you? Then why have you got dark glasses on? Are you trying to look ominous?
He's incognito.
Incognito.
Yeah, well, he is incognito, and that's there we go. I'm trying to take the picture and make it.
Now, I thought that the war dead from the Korean War were being exchanged tonight.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you know who's what?
Dog tags?
Yeah, I guess so. DNA.
Yeah, but
what kind of DNA? I guess they test family members, and they can see if there's DNA in them that matches the bones.
I don't know. I hate to say this. Sounds kind of cruel, I guess.
Yeah.
But if I had somebody who was there in North Korea and dead and rotting in a grave somewhere, I think after this many years, how many years is it now?
About 70. Don't they want closure?
Yeah.
I think these families deserve some sort of closure.
The people in the family
they have closure by now.
They have closure. They're dead too.
There was a guy being interviewed today that his son was 3 years old when his father was killed in Korea, and he wants his father's body to come home.
Yeah, because he remembers that father really well.
Well, he's got pictures,
I mean, I don't want to be cruel about it, but it has been 70 years now.
I think 65.
65 years. It's been 65 years, and you kind of go, does it really matter?
Well, it does to them.
Wait a minute. SG's making, he's using his nonverbal skills to comment. What are you trying to say, SG?
Let's just ask you about your family. What's important about your family?
Nothing. I don't have any family left.
Right.
No, but if you were to, there's a lot of people who are into genealogy.
Listen, you're talking to the guy who's yet to put a tombstone on his mother's grave. Okay.
I would say that you have one persona for the group, but I think you really care about your family.
No, I don't care about my family because I don't have any.
Well, we're your family. You care about us?
Oh, well, I care about you. I mean, when I'm worried about Phil that he's going to have a stroke right now while we're sitting here. That's why. That's why I wish that. That's why
I'm so zen. I'm so relaxed.
Yeah, I know, but you can be as zen as you want to. If that thing's going to block up, that thing's going to block up. Yeah. You know, I want to see you get that. I wish you were having that operation like tomorrow, so that we can clear up your problems. You know.
Yeah.
What happened to Scott? Where'd you go, Scott?
Oh, I shut my camera off. I'm moving. I don't want to freak people out.
What do you mean freak people out?
Phil, you having another operation?
Yeah, August 16th.
What's this one for?
Same thing. I've got an artery that's 100% blocked. It's the one. And they discovered it during the first angioplasty, but couldn't do anything about it.
Oh, God.
They're sending me for a special operation. It's because I'm special, you know. And
wow.
So, yeah, they put in these multiple stents as they roto-rooter you out because they don't know on the other side of the blockage. So I have to have a special one.
Wow. Yeah, they're gonna have to go down to Staples and get those stents. You know?
Yeah. Well, I think they just use leftover straws from San Francisco. You know, they've got all these straws that they can't use.
Right.
So, you know, they just cut them up into pieces and stick them in me.
Oh, come on, Scott. Show us your picture. Come on.
Jesus, I'm still moving.
You're
hook up
the underwear.
Oh, you're moving the camera someplace else?
Yeah, I had to move to I was running out of battery.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay.
Are you home? You were in bed, and it didn't look like a scene that we've seen.
I'm on the road. I'm on the road.
Oh. Well, where are you?
I'm in Northwest Arkansas.
What are you doing in North? Well, it got to be some relative in Northwest Arkansas, right?
Yeah, my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that is relative.
She is relative. She is alive.
Now
you're also from Iowa, right?
That's not the one that just got married, right?
No. This is my youngest daughter.
Now, are you staying at their place, or is that like a hotel?
It's a Hampton, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Now, they just had some tornadoes in Iowa. Is that where you also visit family and friends?
Yeah, that was in central Iowa. I'm from eastern Iowa.
I like the way you put that, Phil. They had some tornadoes there. They have tornadoes there all the time.
Yeah, these were pretty devastating, I think.
All tornadoes are devastating.
Yeah, but
no, they're not.
You just go into the root cellar.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me.
Wait till
excuse me. There are good tornadoes. Like there are good trade wars. You know. Yeah.
And you know. Hey,
yes, SG. I think I just brought SG into the conversation. Yes, SG.
EU.
Yeah.
What about the EU?
Bill?
Oh, they had an agreement yesterday, and it seems as though they both agreed that they don't want tariffs, and that they want free trade, and that they're going to be taking more of our soy beans.
But it was for soybeans. It wasn't for like metal and aluminum and.
No, but there's an aluminum plant in Minnesota, I think, that just reopened and hired 300 people. Now I know that there's a steel nail plant. I forgot where it was that's having a tough time. Missouri, because of the tariffs. But an aluminum plant just opened up, and they refired their kilns and hired 300 people.
Now they're shut down because the tariffs are.
Well, 300 people. That's certainly going to put a dent in the economy, isn't it?
It's a start.
Well, am I getting one of those jobs?
Well, if you want to shovel aluminum,
I'd be more than happy to shovel aluminum. They still wouldn't hire me. They would say, "Oh, you're 78 years old? No way you're shoveling aluminum for us."
Yeah.
And then I would go, "Motherfucking assholes," and then I would turn around and leave.
Not everybody's an ageist. Some people aren't Democrats, you know?
Yeah. But, you know, I mean...
Here's what I don't understand. Ultimately, what I don't understand, and I know I'm being naive here, but why... I honestly think there is nothing that's made abroad that can't be made here in the States.
That's true.
So when this is the one thing that strikes, at least to some minuscule level, as reprehensible of a human being as I find Trump to be in his entire administration, when he talks protectionism, and coming from a town that had its steel industry gutted like a fish 30, 35 years ago, I have to say, at least on a minuscule level, he strikes a harmonious chord. So again, anything that's made abroad, why can't it be made here?
Scott?
Yeah.
Cuban cigars.
Well, we got Cubans living in Miami, Scott.
What's the cigar that Scott
You're
looks
Americans.
like? Not El Product. There's a Dutch Master. Are those made in the States?
No, smoke cigars.
What? What's that?
What?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It sounded like the police department.
Yeah, it did.
And somebody shoot his wife while they're on the Skype here.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, we got a Skype guest here who shot his fucking wife. You might want to send your want to send your SWAT team over to his ass.
It might increase the rating for Alex's show. He's always wanted somebody to die on the air so that.
Rather if Alex to get swatted on the air while he's Skyping us.
Yeah. Somebody must have a sound effect.
No, I don't think that's it. I think we are just a little, somebody.
I'd say you could swat me, but I'm mobile now, so it wouldn't do anybody any good.
SG is very quiet tonight.
But how much steel do we really need?
Odd, obviously.
I think we use a lot less steel than we used to.
Well,
quite a bit.
Yeah, the bad news is that what steel plants we still have are automated.
Yeah.
And the even worse news is we don't have that many steel plants any longer. Here we go. A comment from SG. He's just holding up a sign of Trump that says wrong. Yes, SG.
You got to talk now.
Look, do you understand steel?
Yes.
So.
Yeah, that was a thing that was written about Trump getting peed on.
Did you see the stock market today?
No.
Stock market today was up, and primarily because of steel, and also the steel plants. American Steel is having there's a lot of plants that have been closed that are now reopening. Did you understand? Do you know that?
Well, I knew the aluminum one did.
Well, I heard the steel plants.
There's like American Steel, in itself has like 7 new plants opening, and now all of a sudden we're able to manufacture steel. Now that's one microcosm of our economy. I'm not saying that's everything that we're doing, but I think we could acknowledge that this is a win.
It is.
A win for who?
The nail plant that is having some issues is actually owned by a Mexican company. The one is it Minnesota? The one that they're having some layoffs because of the tariffs. Now that might be because maybe they make these nails. I don't know. It might have something to do with the Mexican economy and the tariff for them.
Yeah, it's 150 people.
Yeah.
And so if you take the other steel plants, there are multi-thousands of jobs that are being generated. So you have 150 people have been let go because of this nail company. Who are they having on all the networks? And that's kind of bad, but that's going to come around. That's going to change. And if you look at, American Steel and all these other companies, it's several thousands of jobs that are being generated.
Are you sure it's several thousand? Because a lot of these plants have gone to far more.
Tens of thousands,
Wait a minute, hold on a
thousands
second,
of
SG. These plants have gone to automation, a lot of them.
Well, the one that I saw that had reopened was that Trump had visited today was U.S. Steel.
U.S. Steel, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Well, even if they are as heavily automated as they are, I'd imagine they still need at least a few hundred or at least a few people in general to man those automated runs.
I would think that the automated things would be for the things that were least safe for people to do. You know, working at 2,000-degree heat and things like that.
They had U.S.
And the people that would do those unsafe things would be like Wheelie Oceans and other third world people who would be treated like expendable tampons if it weren't for the fact that not only do they not have to do that unsafe stuff, that we don't have to do that unsafe stuff either, since it's being done by machines.
Jeff is got his hand up. I saw him nodding, so apparently there is something that's not sitting right with him.
Well, here's what I'll say. The first thing that they're going to make changes is to save or make more money. That's the way the U.S. Steel works. Okay, that's why the stock goes up and things like that.
Yeah.
That's the way
As
business
far
works.
as whether there's a safety issue, it depends upon the cost of getting somebody hurt, and you got to sue them or this or that, or they just get retired. Whatever the issues are. The issues are money. And don't give me any of this other bullshit about why they're adding this steel company. Because they can produce more at a higher profit.
And they're bringing back American. They're making things in America.
They're bringing back some people, but not necessarily the same people who had those jobs.
But it keeps the money.
You know something? There was a time.
In this country, we can export to other countries and lower our deficit.
Oh yeah, right.
Well, we got to start somewhere. We have to start somewhere. It's better to start with something than nothing, and then we can work our way. We can take incremental baby steps to where we want to go, to where us lefties would want to take this. If not in this generation, then in the next one or two generations afterward.
No, the lefties want to take it so they can tax it and have more social programs.
What's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that, Phil?
Well, what it does is it cripples the American worker when you pay them for doing nothing.
Especially if some of those social programs would be able to rehabilitate somebody and educate somebody in working in those plants.
Let's talk to
all the
somebody.
Millions of dollars that they throw at the social programs now, it's not working.
Let's talk for a moment to somebody who is crippled. Patrick? Yeah. Are you on any kind of public dole at all? I mean, are you getting any kind of welfare at all, or
Yeah, Medicare.
What?
Yeah, Medicare.
Medicare.
Yeah, disability insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what would life be like for you without it?
Well, I'd be paying more out of my 401k.
And disability insurance is a contribution made by the employer.
Well, and by me. I mean, it's no different than if I were to be 65 and take out my Social Security.
Right.
So,
when I payroll every 2 weeks, I pay a large disability payment, federal withholding, and state tax, as well as Social Security, and and I have to do it for all the employees, and it's significant. But that is a benefit of employment.
You worked for a socialistic system when you were a policeman.
I was a volunteer.
Well,
I didn't get paid.
All I'm saying is that we have a lot of socialism that nobody complains about. Nobody complains about the police department, but it's a social. It's part of a socialistic
the founding
system.
fathers said that there were some things like libraries and schools and police and so forth.
I don't think our founding fathers said that.
government.
I don't think the shows where the founding fathers said that.
It was Benjamin Franklin who established the library system.
Well, yes, but that doesn't mean.
right, yeah.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that the founding fathers said that we needed the libraries. Somebody figured we should have one.
Well, we don't need Medicare either, but
maybe you don't need Medicare, but I sure as fucking hell do need Medicare, and so does Patrick.
There are other ways to get those benefits.
How am I going to get those benefits?
Well, you don't have to worry about that because you have that system. What is that noise?
Somebody's got a tunnel in their asshole.
No, that's
motorcycles.
There we
Cars are driving in it.
We got Scott Boddicker back. Yeah.
Hey, Scott.
One away from a full house.
Yeah, one away from a full house.
Wow, cool.
Just made it in.
Yeah. So here's an item for you. Fox News and CNN. I'm trying to pick this thing up here because I've been exhausted all day. I don't know why. Fox News and CNN appear to have found some rare common ground.
Yeah.
Was this over the woman that they expelled from the Trump?
No. With Fox News slamming one of its former. Can I talk here? In one of my rare moments on this show, one of its top executives, Bill Shine, who's now the White House communications director, banned a CNN reporter from a press event.
Yes.
Right.
Get her out.
Yeah. Well, she was asking questions pertinent to the discussion.
What?
She was asking questions that weren't pertinent to
the press
discussion.
is always doing that.
Well, that's actually not true.
The president's there. There's an opportunity to.
She wouldn't leave, and also the White House said someone else from CNN can come to the Rose Garden.
Well, the New York Post quotes Fox News President Jay Wallace saying late Wednesday, "We stand in strong solidarity with CNN for the right to full access for our journalists as part of a free and unfettered press." That's from Fox.
Hey,
Fox ought to be fired.
Alex?
Yeah?
Alex? Can I ask you a question?
Go right ahead, SG.
From now on, I'm going to interrupt you every time and see if you kick me out.
This is a completely different venue.
Nope.
Kick him out! Kick him out!
To begin with, you are in Alex Bennett's house, not in the people's house. Okay, that's for starters.
You are my people.
My peeps.
Alex doesn't work for us. We work for Alex.
The network's chief political anchor, Brett Baer, also took the White House to task for banning reporter Caitlin Collins from an event in the Rose Garden. Baer is quoted as saying on Special Report, as a member of the White House press pool, Fox stands firmly with CNN on this issue of access.
Oh.
Okay, yes, Patrick.
I have a very important.
Yes.
Is she attractive?
Is she
Yes,
attractive?
she is attractive.
I haven't seen a picture of her.
Kick her out.
Huh?
Then don't kick her out. If she was a dog, get rid of her.
You must be a Trump man.
Yeah, Patrick. Good. I'm glad I'm not HR and you're not working for my company. Let's see. She reportedly was banned for shouting questions at Trump as part of the standard media spray, they call it. Trump reacted negatively to her questions about Michael Cohen's audio tape and about Vladimir Putin. You know, what the point is here is not so much of whether she was shouting at, so were all the other reporters. They were all shouting questions at him. He just didn't like the questions she was shouting.
Plus, he didn't recognize her. He wanted to take a question from someone else. You know, the thing is, wasn't he in the room with the guy from the EU? And wasn't the discussion about the deal with the EU?
No, it never is.
The United States?
It never is. Whenever Trump is there with a foreign dignitary, part of the thing the foreign dignitary has to put up with are questions from the press about somebody that the president fucked or
I guess the world is changing. I guess the world is changing, and Trump runs his White House. He's a strong leader, and he doesn't want to take that kind of crap.
He is telling the press, if you don't do what I want you to do, you can't talk to me, you can't get near me, you can't have access to the White House, although the rest of the press corps can.
Well, I learned a long time ago you can never trust the press.
A Zig Heil is coming from Scott. This is very Nazi-like. I finally, I decided the other day. I was thinking about it. Wait a minute, I was thinking about it the other day, and I was watching like the 2000s, which are doing on CNN, which is a history of the 2000s, done by Tom Hanks, and I said, I hate to say this, but I actually miss Bush. and then I said, I actually hate to say this, but I miss Clinton. In fact, I hate to say this, but compared to Trump, I miss Hitler.
Pompeo said it very, very succinctly the other day. He says, "I'm on to your games," and most of these things with the Nazi and the this and the that, those are just left-wing banter to try to discredit anything that someone says that you don't agree with.
And Obama said it before. Obama said it.
You got a full house.
I said it before.
Here's a question for you, because you're a media mogul. I mean, you're a legend in your own mind. Let me ask you this question.
What?
So you're part of the pool. You're part of the White House pool. Can you do whatever you want without? Can you do and never ever be like someone say, that's kind of not cool? Can you do whatever you want?
Can I do whatever I want?
It's the White House pool.
As a news person,
I certainly.
Is there some decorum?
Yes, you can.
Yes.
Well, I don't agree with that. And she saw that there were limits.
You Jew.
Yeah. See, that's the rhetoric that comes from the left.
You Jew.
I've said it before.
Your rhetoric to fire back. You sit there like an ice cube, like an iceman. No passion, no enthusiasm, no commitment. Where is your passion to fire
and back? No stroke or heart attack.
Hey, I'm working on it. You work on yours. Let us die together. Embrace the map.
I asked Alex a question.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second.
I asked Alex a question.
Yeah?
I would like you to answer the question.
Okay. I answered the question. I said, this is Alex's house, and
No.
whatever I
I'm
want.
saying unfettered media who can go anywhere and say whatever they want. Is there ever a line that people can you just go in and scream?
Yes.
What is the deal?
Wait a minute. If one can, then then all should be able to. Okay, the press. This is what was called a question spray, in which many times in a situation like this where they get the president, whether he's walking off to the helicopter or he's holding he's holding court with some foreign dignitary, there then is a spray of questions, and many of them have nothing to do with anything else but the question of the day, like, what do you think of the Cohen tapes, for instance, which is a legitimate question.
Well, let me ask you this, Alex. So if someone were to say, and they're in that room, if someone were to say, can you please, we're going now, we're leaving now, we're trying to shut this down, can you still shout over everyone?
all you have to say, what he said was, thank you very much.
He said, "Thank you very much," but the people were trying
there is a rule on the
people were trying to get
SG,
that were working for in that Oval Office. They were trying to say, "Come on now, are you saying that there's never a point that someone will say, you know, you can just keep on going?"
When he said thank you very much, why didn't you just get up and walk out with the foreign dignitary?
There's noise going over Alex.
What is the noise? What are we getting? Where is that coming from?
Oh, no.
That's a damn busted. I'll tell you, I'm in Clifton, and I'll tell you, these roads, you know, these are, I don't know what the speed limit is. I think it's maybe 35.
You might want to mute your mic.
Yeah, I will. Yeah. These people, they think they're on a friggin' highway.
Okay. Ray has his hand up. Yes, Ray, and then Patrick.
Yeah, thanks. I just want to, I was watching this thing today. That reporter was representing all of the cable news stations. They only allowed one reporter in representing all the cable news stations, and she was asking one question, and it was about Michael Cohen, and the president was ignoring her, and she asked it about 4 or 5 times, and that was it. So, and she wasn't being rude. I watched the whole thing.
Okay.
Go watch it.
Okay.
And that's why Fox is pissed off, because she was from CNN, but she was representing all of the cable news stations because they only let one reporter in to represent all of the cable news stations.
Beth Bayer on Fox read a statement released by CNN which said, just because the White House is uncomfortable with a question regarding the news of the day doesn't mean the question isn't relevant and shouldn't be asked. This decision to bar a member of the press is retaliatory in nature and not indicative of an open and free press. We demand better.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. Okay. So you agree then with CNN? He's holding up a sign wrong. He doesn't realize that we also do this as an audio program, and people can't see that. Okay, yes, Patrick.
It was the Fox executive who said that.
Patrick, and then Jack.
Okay.
Look, anybody who's ever had children or been around children, that's what the press is. And you can respond and not respond. And at some point, you stop responding. And I would have, if I was the president and I didn't want to answer a question, just like when I was with my kids, you don't answer. You ignore them and you walk out of the room. It's easy to do. Guess what? Not everybody in the press gets a shot at getting their question answered. You get a shot at asking, but you may not get an answer. And you know what that's called? Tough fucking shit. Move on, go get a hamburger, a hot dog, and you're done.
But you don't tell that person they can't come to a press conference.
No,
That's because she wasn't recognized, and she continued to do it, and they told her to leave, and she wouldn't leave.
There was a point at which they all stopped. Okay,
And
that he had
they
said
told
that he
that
said thank you
CNN
very
could
much.
come in.
He did thank you very much about 4 times. I think there's a rule. If he says it 4 times, then you shut up. And that's exactly what they did. And what he should have done was he should have said thank you, but then he just sat there with his hands, you know, in that position where you're saying this is how big my penis is, and you know, he wears the long tie to cover that enormous penis.
Well, it just looks enormous in juxtaposition to his tiny hands.
But anyway, Jack's had his hand up, and I.
Very good, my son Brian. Very good.
Hey, like I said, I just want to say real quick, you mentioned that you missed the days even of Hitler, Alex, earlier about 20 minutes ago. And I just want to say, again, you heard me say this before, and Jack, you've heard me say this before on this venue, that if Hitler had persecuted the right people, i.e. the cocksuckers, the people who think their shit doesn't stink, the yuppies, the fucking, just those types of people based on personality that we can all universally convene upon and agree we find reprehensible, and throwing their fucking asses in the oven, I would dig him up in the grave and offer to suck his cock.
No, you wouldn't, because his dick was too small to find. And he only had one ball.
You only had one testicle.
If he did that, I'd do him that favor. If he'd have done that, I'd have done him that fucking favor.
Before I get ready to go do my show, I got to quit listening to you, Bennett, because there are certain people here that just fire me up to do my show. Look, if you go back and look at press conferences from the past, you will see the same thing happen. This
is not the past. This is Trump's presidency.
No, and it's Trump's presidency because those of us on the left aren't fighting him hard enough.
Those of you on the left lost the election. And you're never going to get over it.
And it was our damn fault, and you Republicans
wouldn't have electoral defeat. That's how we lost the election.
Hey, you lost the election. Grow up.
Now look, if you
put on your big boy pants.
Be quiet for a minute.
Lost by a $4 million vote.
If you be quiet for a minute, you might learn something. You hear me? If you be quiet for a minute, you might learn something. Look, if this had happened in any other country, you Republicans would have been all over it saying, this man is trying to suppress the press.
If it would have happened in any other country, we would have shot Hillary.
Now look, you guys wouldn't shoot shit.
No, because we're the group of peace. It's you Antifada, and you're kneeling on the
Belfast.
This is where my job gets easy.
To do the crime.
Oh, come on, quit crybabying, Phil.
No, the only one that's crying here is you.
I'm attacking. Attack me back.
No, you're not attacking. You're crying.
Let's get
whining.
I'm worried here because these are two people with a heart condition.
I did my mantra.
The end.
Better to burn up than to rust out.
Yeah.
Now look.
Better to burn up than the rust out. I like that.
Yeah.
Or both.
That's Neil Young or?
No, that was Neil Young. That was Jack Bishop. Now look.
And to fade away.
Fight the power. That's what the Isley said. Now look. This man.
Go to you in a second, SG.
I'd like to hear this man's point.
All right.
Real simple. If you want to see how press should be done, watch the BBC and how they go after politicians.
Why?
And
because that's the way it should be done.
What happens to them when they go after the Queen?
Go ahead.
The press should be an adversarial voice against whoever's in power.
Adversarial.
Yes.
They should be. They should be a group of people who report the facts.
Oh, damn it! America doesn't give a shit about the facts.
The last time we had legitimate,
we have our position. The press is there to give us your side or my side to give us talking points for the water.
No, that's bullshit. The last time we had legitimate news, you didn't know if the commentator was a right or a lefty.
Hell, man, listen, that changed with Fox.
No, not necessarily just Fox.
A couple more Foxes.
Okay, facts don't matter. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, it certainly doesn't seem to matter to this administration, does it? Does it matter to this administration?
Okay, let SG talk. SG, make your comment.
No, I was asking the very gracious man about his facts about what he's talking about.
Which fact are you asking about?
Well, your diatribe.
Well, pick a part of my diatribe, and I'll try to answer the question.
Just what you're talking about. Just give me something.
All right. What do you want to hear?
He just did, for God's sake, about between the adversarial relationship that media outlets should have overseas, albeit in the BBC, or the way press conferences were held during days before. I mean, those were we were listening to the same diatribe, right, SG?
I think that.
Good Lord.
I think it shouldn't be adversarial.
Why not?
I think it should be a bunch of people who talk about facts, who talk about what's happening, and not. It's sort of like if you look at.
All right, SG, what have you heard the press talking? SG, what have you heard the press say? What have you heard the press say, what have you heard the press say the last few weeks that was not?
If you look at,
you can't keep talking over.
Hold on a second. You can't keep
one at a time.
You can't keep talking over each other because he can't hear you, Jack.
If you look at how judges, for example, are put on the benches, if you look at judges who are put on circuit court benches, if you look at judges who are put on the Supreme Court, you want those judges to be those judges who are constitutional judges, who don't like all of a sudden make up their own mind how to do things. And that's the same thing that I'm talking about with the media. They should hold on. I will make it quick. My last point, and then you can yell at me.
All right, and you can yell back, and if you don't, I'm going to make my last point. I feel sorry for you.
I can make my last point, then you can yell at me, and I will shut up. Believe me. I'll do this. I'll just close my mouth. So, thing is, like the Ninth Circuit Court in California, when they looked at Trump and what they said that, okay, you cannot do this ban, and they said based on what you did during the pain. They didn't look at the textual point of what they were doing. And what that does is people are they're legislating from the bench. And what I'm saying is that you can't have that. You got to have people who are talking about facts and truth. That's what I'm talking about.
All right.
Okay.
No, wait.
Okay, and then Patrick has his hand up. Go ahead.
Because the news people are bending the truth. They're asking questions in a way, trying to get you. They're always looking for that gotcha moment.
And doesn't Fox try to do the same thing when the left is in power? If they don't, they're doing it wrong.
They don't. When the left is in power, they don't let the right in.
Okay. Patrick has his hand up, and then Brian.
I agree that the media should be adversarial. Now, there's a difference between the reporters that are asking questions and newspapers that are printing information. Now, the way do you get facts and figures are through those questions that may very well be adversarial. And I agree with the press aspect of it. What goes into print, whether it's digital or whether it's on the news at night, that should be factually based. But you can't get those facts unless you ask the question. And I think a lot of it should be adversarial. And I have no problem with somebody coming at Trump for a got you, or somebody going at Obama would have got you, or whatever. That's how you get it.
Yeah. By the way, while you were giving your impassioned speech, Ray's been taking a leak.
And, Alex, you said yesterday,
I wanted to go next.
Bathroom. No one's ever gone to the bathroom on your show.
Yeah.
And
can I speak?
And now you have it.
Yes. Brian.
Yeah, my question was more geared towards SG there, in regards to your comment, SG, that you made concerning justices and their job, much like the media, in analyzing and reporting facts, strictly facts. Well, when you look at the as far as justices are concerned, when you look at let's take a look at the Second Amendment. How can you not acquire or how can you not at least acknowledge that there could be at least more than one interpretation of what the Founding Fathers meant in the Second Amendment, especially when you read the words well-regulated militia?
Brian, to begin with, the Second Amendment's a very badly written amendment because it is open to a lot of interpretation.
I am taking this, as there are other parts of the Constitution that are open to interpretation as well, as have been interpreted over the years, badly or goodly, depending on what, like Dred Scott and all the other, all the other judicial decisions that have been made over the years, and the other judicial decisions that have been made to overturn previous judicial decisions. So there is There is no one way to interpret.
Okay, let me just say this one.
What's already previously written.
To answer your question, Brian.
Go ahead.
In the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, do you know why the countries that were targeted
because according to the Trump administration, they were state sponsors of Muslim terrorists.
How did they get that information? That information was gotten by the Obama administration through they targeted those countries as the countries that are the most egregious in terms of terrorism.
The Obama administration gathered that information, but the Obama administration didn't say, okay, everybody in that country, everybody and their kid brother can't come to the United States. They
used the data from the Obama administration to target the countries to say we need to vet those people more thoroughly.
They also had.
So we do need to vet those people more thoroughly, but that doesn't mean we should outright ban everyone who lives there.
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Let me.
That's what they did, and you.
Yes, but it was a fact. Okay, Obama administration may have done that, but they didn't act on it.
Exactly. Thank you. Perfectly.
Because acting upon it would create a discrimination.
No, there's no discrimination. It's who is the...
I'm sick and tired of us belly aching and being whiny children about who's coming out to get us. All right? The fact is there are a lot of countries that have been almost decimated.
I'm answering his question.
Yeah.
And I agree with you, Alex. Let's not bellyache. I'm answering his question.
Okay. Let's see here. Who's? I guess it's Jack. Yeah.
SG. First of all, you shifted the conversation away from talking about this reporter who's been banned from covering the president and covering.
Well, I'll do fairness, Jack. So did I.
All right, now let me finish. Now that's one thing we haven't really settled on. The second thing is when you start talking about terroristic countries and their support, the most egregious country in that part of the world is Saudi Arabia. They actively fund the Watanabe, which is considered by some to make ISIS and all these other groups.
It's Wahhabi. It's Wahhabi.
Yeah. Thank you, Alex. I was thinking about that Japanese
wasabi. Yeah.
What was it? 15 of the 19 hijackers of 9/11 were from Saudi Arabia, anyhow. So there's that too.
Wasabi. Now, we do business with Saudi Arabia. We know that what the Saudis are doing, why they're funding this group, is so they will be left alone because the Saudi royal family is so hated in their own country.
Sir?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I thank you for that, but I will get back to you. The countries that were targeted were identified in the Obama administration, and then when the turnover went, and you can say whatever you want, but it will be wrong. Those countries, and people will say, okay, Saudi Arabia was 9/11, but those weren't the countries targeted by the Obama administration. So when there was a administration change, they said, here is what we need to do for these countries. And if you say anything different, it's wrong.
Let me ask you this. Why are we even talking about this? What has this got to do with anything?
That's absurd logic. That's absurd logic.
There was. Okay, wait a minute. Let Ray finish his thought.
I mean, who gives a shit that Obama came up with the data? Trump's the one who acted on it. It doesn't matter where it came from.
It should have been acted on before.
Or overreact.
Okay,
Phil.
Okay, now I got it.
Okay.
All right, well, that's fine. If you think it should have been acted on before, that's another issue.
But
But to say it's
Phil's
Obama's
got the-
fault because he
There's
collected
another
the
reason.
data.
Yeah.
Ray, there's another reason why those countries were targeted. It was because of weak security in their airports and other things that they would allow people to travel that were on the list that they shouldn't have been on the list, and they could potentially come into the States. So they needed to up the security, so that, and these countries were the weak link.
All right. I'm just saying to like put it on Obama, it just doesn't make any sense. I'm just saying there's no logic in any of
Nobody
that.
put it on Obama.
Yes, he did. That's what SGU was saying.
It's not putting on Obama. It's using his data to target these countries.
So?
And
but
why
he didn't. But he didn't.
But then
I
the
have no idea. I'm done.
People say, why are? Then the people say, obviously you're not following this logic.
No, you're using a different logic.
No, you're saying
the
that
left never follows logic. It's always emotion.
You've got to be shitting me.
Help it. I can't help it if you people have no heart, no balls, no courage, no conviction.
So now it's
show you
heart
my
and
balls.
balls. Now it's heart and balls.
Well,
Come on.
I got balls, baby. I got balls.
Oh boy!
Yeah,
It's interesting. In the last half hour, we've had someone almost show us his balls. We've also had somebody show us himself taking a leak and picking up his dog shit. By the way, and you know what? A lot of this is going to get missed with the new Skype because sometimes somebody won't be actually on. Although you can see them doing stuff in the little circles, some of them, right, Patrick?
If you had a switcher, a real switcher, a hardware switcher, could you then control who is seen and who isn't?
No, not without spending.
That's why I use the old Skype. I haven't switched. I switched back to the old one, and I'm not going to go to the new one because that was horrible.
Oh, but you're going to have to.
Oh, really?
It hasn't asked me yet on the Mac.
Yeah, they're going to force that dildo so far up your ass, you'll be
it also has
spitting rubber for
it also has
Oh, that's fine. I
Rubber
haven't had a
bits.
dildo up my ass in a few
it also
weeks,
hasn't
so.
asked me on the Mac either, so
And once you've had one, you learn to love it.
But I need people raising their
it's a
hands.
Skype dildo, so it's not going to feel good. I guarantee
I
you
need
that.
people raising their hands when they want to talk and so on, and the fact that I can't have them all on the screen at the same time is a pain in the ass, but I guess I'll have to adapt. But you're right. I may do. I may do it with
like a White House press conference.
Well, I may do it with the Mac because you're right, Phil. Mac has yet to say we're going to the new system.
Maybe you can switch platforms and go to something else.
Well, I'd like to. If you can find one, everybody do their research. That's your homework.
I'll do that.
Red Hat.
Yeah. So anyway, boy, this is exhausting. It's exhausting.
That was a good belch.
No, I love it when you guys argue because then I don't have to do any work.
Yeah, you guys.
You are getting lazy, Alex.
Huh?
You guys never call me so I can lay back, so I wind up working my ass off with Mike and a couple of other people.
Well, it's very easy.
Hey,
yeah.
Hey, Alex, you've heard of FOMO, right?
What?
FOMO?
What's FOMO?
FOMO. Fear of missing out.
A fear of missing out. FOMO.
Oh God.
But you know what the new term is? JOMO.
What?
Joy of missing out.
Joy of missing out. I see. Okay. What do you think? By the way, he hasn't said very much tonight. Jeff, anything?
I think the one thing that I did here, and it has to do with England as compared to the United States. In England, they have a whole different strategy in arguing. From the president, whatever they call him there.
Prime Minister. Yeah.
And I think if anybody should listen to it, I think in England they actually get to really argue all the time, and they also express their opinions, and the opposite.
Oh, they in Parliament. They get very rowdy.
Yeah, it's
Here,
great.
here, ha ha, oh ho, hey, hey. You know, I mean, they're very rowdy,
And they wear cool wigs too.
Yes, they. Well, they don't. Do they all? No, they don't wear wigs. Those are the judges that wear wigs.
No, that's the House of Lords that wears wigs.
Oh, they do wear
okay.
wigs in the House of Lords. Yes, Patrick. He'd look great with a wig, by the way, Patrick.
I know Jack will probably back me up on this. Being a history buff himself, like me, that the way that they argue in England is the way that we did in the founding of our country. I mean, we had allies that they were, you know, I mean, you had Sam Adams and people wanting to kill each other right there, you know, whether it's the Congress or I mean, shit, they went after each other and
There was
Alexander Hamilton and Aaron Burr, yeah.
No, but I saw a thing the other day in which a member, I think it was in the Congress, one member of Congress, this was back in the 1800s, went up to another member of Congress with a cane and started beating him almost to death, right in the House.
I think it was in the run-up to the Civil War.
Yeah. Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right, Brian. That's exactly the story that I heard.
I think that's where the term flogging comes from.
Oh, really?
I'm not sure about that.
Oh, they've had that for a long time. People used to be flogged in prison and all sorts of things. That's just whipping.
Yeah, but I bet he may be right that that's
And what
where
was
it came from.
In Singapore, it was the caning.
That was back in the mid-'90s.
Yeah.
Married with Children show made fun of that.
They still do it.
Yeah. How about you, Scott? You haven't said much in the last little while, and you're sitting there in the hotel room using up all their Wi-Fi.
I said something. You heard it.
Huh?
When we all start yelling, you can't see everybody. It's going to be like a White House press conference. Jack,
Roosevelt used to beat the shit out of people with his big stick. I heard.
Well,
it was the cousin.
I've been watching a documentary Ken Burns did on the Roosevelts, and Teddy Roosevelt. You know, he was an imperialist. I mean, he loved war. He felt war was good for the country.
Good for the economy.
Well, he felt it was good for the country. He believed that. So much so, he made his 5 kids, his 5 boys, all go into World War I, which, as you know, is one of the most horrible wars ever. Okay, and
very bloody.
One of his sons died. He was a pilot. One of his sons got injured very badly. Another one got hit with mustard gas. You know, but when they came home, he was proud of them all and proudest of all of the dead one. What's with that? You know?
He used to sneak out of the White House and go bear hunting.
Yep. In fact,
they didn't have to go far.
In fact, that's where we get the name Teddy Bear from.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
It was named after Teddy Roosevelt. I think it was a story or something. I can't remember where he went hunting for a bear, but he found a cub, and then he didn't kill it, and he, kind of nurtured it and whatever. And then they started putting out these bears and called them teddy bears.
And then once it got up to size, he killed it then.
Yeah,
Wasn't he responsible for the Spanish-American War and?
He served in the Rough Riders.
Yeah,
I think he
was the leader of the Rough Riders.
I'm wondering whether it was a Spanish-American War or whether there was a Cuban. He was in Cuba, is where he was.
Yeah, it was Cuba.
And that was not
Puerto Rico.
That was not the Spanish-American War.
But why did we wind up? Why did we wind
the
up?
The Spanish-American War is famous for William Randolph Hearst, who sent somebody down to South America to go look for the war, and he got down there. And he got a hold of Hearst and said, "There's no war down here." And he says, "Stay there. You just report. I'll provide the war." And he created a war.
Isn't this the incident? Isn't this the campaign in which the term yellow journalism hailed from as well?
The what?
The term yellow journalist or yellow journalism wasn't it the Spanish-American War
I don't
and
know where
William Randolph?
William Randolph.
Where that term hails from that time.
Hearst was doing yellow journalism before the Spanish-American War. We wound up with the Philippines because of that war. The interesting thing is the story that Hearst's reporter sent back was about the explosion of the ship, the Maine.
Yeah.
Now, many historians say was caused by the magazine being unattended and blowing up, not by any cannon hitting the ship. It was very much like the Bay of Tonkin that got us into our accelerated war in Vietnam.
Yep. Right. A lie.
By the way, another little quick item here. Roseanne, of course, is an anathema to people. She was on Hannity tonight, I understand.
You cunt. Yeah, we know that.
She, however, the whole members of that family are kind of getting to be activists. Tom Arnold has made it clear he has an agenda, and he was clear that it includes bringing down Donald Trump's presidency. Variety is reporting that Arnold said during an appearance today at the TCA's summer press tour that he will continue doing his upcoming Viceland series, The Hunt for the Trump Tapes with Tom Arnold, until President Donald Trump resigns from office. Arnold is quoted
thinks too much of himself.
Arnold is quoted as, in the report as saying, there are things going on right now that affect our world that are scary. I, for some reason, am in a position to do something. Arnold added, there's big things happening right now, and we're filming right now, and you will also see documentation that there's a pee-pee tape.
If Tom Arnold wants to win my respect, Alex, if Tom Arnold wants to really win my respect, he'll have himself televised going to soup kitchens and whatnot all across the country and writing $10,000 checks or more to the people who have to use.
Well, Tom doesn't have that kind of money. Tom doesn't. Well, I know Tom, and
he could collaborate. With
I know Tom, and he's not a fucking idiot, and he's one of the nicest people that I've ever had to deal with.
Hey, I'm nice.
Anyway,
what do you call me?
Fucking idiot. Arnold also reportedly called. Listen to me, please.
Any checks can come to my address, and I'll give that to you.
Variety also adds that Arnold repeatedly called out apprentice creator Mark Burnett in a series of impassioned moments, saying that the prolific TV producer has hidden outtakes from the president's former reality show that Arnold claims demonstrate Trump's negative treatment of women, among other things. The show, by the way, is going to be on Viceland. Yes.
Was Tom Arnold thrown off the show, Trump show? You know, Andrew Dice.
No, I have no idea how he did on that show. I never watched it. Jack.
You know, the one thing about this administration, it has so energized those of us on the left that he's a gift that keeps giving. The other thing that he has done, and I'm surprised it hasn't come up, how many of us now say we should have the ability for our government to vote on confidence or no confidence in the leadership?
What? How?
You can have all the votes you want. The problem is the Democrats never get up in the morning to go out and vote when it's time to vote. And you can talk about energizing the left. You can talk about all of that stuff.
But 3 million more did.
Wait, Jack. Hey, Jack.
3 million more did.
Jack,
3 million more did. 3 million more did.
I want to say this.
Yeah, 3 million. Almost 4 million, I thought it was.
Yeah, and were any of them citizens?
Yeah, those were citizens that
voted. They just had the misfortune of living in, civilized areas of the country.
Yeah, I mean, look.
Phil, anytime anybody states a fact, you make a joke because
it's not a joke.
Phil,
that's his MO.
Oh, you got to be shitting.
Ray, that's his MO. I'm sorry you haven't figured that out by now.
The president says that there's been 3 to 5 million people that voted that shouldn't have.
And also, there were 3 to
the
5
president
million people that could have voted.
Because President Fuckface Von Clownstick said it, you believe it, hook, line, and sinker.
Brian,
Yeah, sure.
let me get this in, because you're just playing with him.
Yeah, I know. I like doing that. What can I say?
People, there are probably 3 to 5 million people that could have voted that your side cribbed out of their voting rights.
My side didn't do that. The Russians did it.
No, listen to him. He is right. He is right. There was a lot of voting irregularities in the South and not allowing certain people to vote. Florida was a good example of that. Yeah.
Oh, they did that in Michigan.
Both sides have their tactics. Let's admit it. Let's own up to it. Let's use
both sides do.
What's the left's tactic? To have people vote that shouldn't be?
Yes.
I want to ask Jack.
The left's tactics, the professional left's tactics, is to have people who wanted Sanders in to fuck them over and to put in a corporatist warmonger instead who would guarantee
I want to ask.
Fucked them over, and I'm glad.
Okay. Wait a minute. Hold on, everybody. Hold on. SG has a question to ask Jack, and then Jack has to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I like Jack.
Then I gotta go. But
So,
SG, you're welcome to come join me after the top of the hour.
I want to ask you, Jack. So, it seems like you're a Democrat, which is cool.
No, I'm not a Democrat. I'm a leftist.
Spit it out.
To the left
All right.
of the Democrats.
Whatever you are, I don't want to characterize you. Whatever you are. What are your thoughts on Maxine Waters?
I am proud of Maxine Waters. I wish more Democrats would follow her example, stand up, be loud, be strong, be proud, and fight this administration.
What does she have that you believe is like good for the Democratic Party?
The support of the people in her district.
A backbone.
Thank you, Brian.
Impeach 44.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Patrick has his hand up, and he hasn't talked in a while. Patrick.
Yeah, but Jack, you have to agree with this though on Maxine Waters. She needs to get a different wig.
Now, would you say that about a man? That he needed to get a different toupee?
Absolutely. Yes. I do it all the time. I look at him and I look at a politician and I say he needs a new hairpiece.
Yeah. He needs a padded cell. Rather than lock her up, we should be chanting padded cell, join Jack after the top of the hour and put him in one too.
Waters is always yelling Peach 45.
Maxine Waters just said she was sent by God to take out Donald Trump.
Yeah, she always says impeach 45.
What is your source?
I say impeach 44.
Well, let's dig up Reagan and impeach him too. Let's do that.
No, but let me ask you this, Jack. I like you, Jack, but she said I was sent by God to take out Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And Joy Behar said on the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, about Donald Trump and his, his religious.
Okay, I'm gonna say this, and I've got to go.
What's your source?
I can't help it.
Let Jack just say something because he's got to go.
I can't help it if people believe in fictitious genies in the sky.
Okay. Jack Bishop, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, there's been
on an internet near you.
This has been a dust up. This has been a hoopla. This has been a hootenanny. This has been rip roaring whatever. A
whoop-de-doo.
A whoop-de-doo.
Whoop-de-doo.
Anyway, I think what everybody should do is wave goodbye to our audience.
I'll call you, Jack. I need your post office.
Yeah, and there. Oh, yes, good. Look at Scott. Thanks, Phil. Thanks, Ray. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, SG. Thanks, Patrick. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Scott. Thanks, Brian. I think I thanked everybody. If I missed somebody, well, and I'm sorry. Anyway, goodbye, guys. Hopefully, we'll see you again tomorrow night. Oh boy, that is really a group of people, isn't it? Okay. If they want to, they can also probably just stick around and hang out with Jack Bishop, who's next over most of this same GabNet. Meanwhile, I am going to get out of here, make way for Jack, and he's followed at 1 o'clock in the morning with Connections. And then tomorrow night at, 9:30, it's Damian Chaplin and The Exchange. That is followed by me at 10 o'clock. Same time, same station in life. In the meantime, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Bye.